September 22nd, Dad would have been 76. I wish you were here. But in honor of him, I've got some more memories. These are memories 56 through 63, and they all have to do around parenting or launching children. In the days before YouTube and videotapes or DVDs, any of that, there was 16 millimeter film, and my dad had checked out a number of Jiminy Cricket safety films in the library about fire safety, about stranger danger, whatever, and first aid. And there was a song that goes, "I'm no fool, no siree. I'm going to live to be 103. I'd play safe for you and me." And my dad had us memorize that song and would always sing, "I'm no fool." And it was shortened down to "Be no fool, be no fool." Whenever we would go out up until high school, college, I'd be going out clubbing or something. He'd say, "Remember, Jeff, be no fool." And I took it seriously to the point where when I was a little kid, the Jiminy Cricket video talked about the importance of fire drills and also about calling the operator. This is in the days before 911, calling the operator if there was a fire. And I got it mixed up in my brain, thought we were supposed to give the operator fire drills. So I proceeded to dial 0 and start screaming that our house was burning down, we were all dying. And it kind of backfired on my dad that way. So be no fool, Jiminy Cricket. Schedules. My dad loved making schedules for me, my sister, and even my kids. And before the days of Excel spreadsheets and graphing programs, he would get his slide rule out and he would create a grid for us and then color code with his markers. And I still have my laminated college schedule. I still managed to miss a lot of classes, but he was so excited of knowing where I was at every minute. Some people may think that's kind of weird, but he did the same thing for Kathleen. And he would say, "Oh, you know what class Kathleen's in right now? She's in such and such class. It's a really important class for her." Da, da, da. And so launching kids' college schedule, be no fool. Simple memory, but I just remember Dad teaching me to fish. And I don't fish that often, but when I do, I think of him. And he taught me to fish. And launching kids, I remember when my dad first found Jesus in a real personal way, and he loved explaining everything he was learning to other people, explaining to me all about Jesus and what it meant to invite Jesus into my life and the forgiveness of Jesus. And I actually found the notes that my grandfather Nick had taken when my dad was explaining how to have a relationship and begin a relationship with Jesus. And he'd written down everything my dad had said, and it means the world to me to have that. I remember when my daughter was getting ready to go to University of Chicago, Kathleen, he researched the dorm and downloaded the floor plans and came up with the optimal way she could get a room all to herself and get the kind of room that would provide the best for her study habits. So that was a little obsessive too, but he wanted to launch the kids. And one thing he really taught me was like the importance of always having gratitude for people who invested in you. And he would always tell us the story of John Shank, who taught finance at Dartmouth. Prior to that, he was a CPA at the Quality Bakery. And my dad said he taught him everything he knew about finance. And my dad, to his dying week, expressed thanksgiving to John Shank, who taught him skills that he's been able to use his whole life. And I really try to just constantly verbally express gratitude to people that gave me skill sets or walked alongside me, because my dad showed me that. And that was an important part of launching us. I had a paper route. My first job was a paper route, and I was very scrawny and I could barely carry the papers myself. And he saw me struggling with it the first few weeks, and then he started just driving the car behind me so I wouldn't have to carry as many newspapers at once, because I was really tiny. I was an extremely late bloomer. And he just, 5 a.m. every Wednesday, Suburban News, he would be there helping me deliver papers. And I don't even remember saying thank you to him. It was just like, he just insisted he wanted to be with me. And that means so much. And another way he helped launch his kids and launch grandkids, he taught us how to be real about grief. I know a lot of people have been in families where there's been great loss, and it was kind of taboo to discuss the real loss, maybe a death of a child or something else. Well, my dad was always verbally processing the death of his firstborn son, Christopher. And I remember, as long as I remember anything, that I had a brother who had died. And just being, from as long as I remember, understanding mortality, understanding how delicate life was, and then being someone myself who's performed countless funerals for infants, I just felt like my dad prepared me for that kind of grieving just through his transparency, which was not a common thing for boomers to be transparent like my dad was. So I'm super thankful for my dad's transparency. So that brings us to 63 memories. I'll be back.